What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle. We're going to do some post-commentary today. The reason being that I recorded this video sometime last week, and there's some stuff going on in my life, and I don't think I was completely there for the commentary, so I wanted a chance to redo it, and I don't like to do post-com. I know most people don't like post-com, but I'm just doing it for this because I don't want to lose the episode, right? And then we fought the Fallen Heroes mod, which I thought they had to be my Fallen Heroes, but it was just literally a party of heroes. And it crashed. It crashed twice, so I just uninstalled it, or I took it off. I'm going to uninstall it, so that was kind of sad. Otherwise, I haven't had any issues with my mod load order since I went back and fixed it. So, I think I talked about that, right? It spent like an hour redoing the mod order, and that seemed to solve most of my issues. So the team we're using, we're going into the ruins to get a Covetous silver Serpent ring, which is just straight out of Dark Souls, and it's literally the ancestor portrait without the downside of stress. It's just 50% bonus XP, so why not go get it? Help us level some people quicker, especially in the modded playthrough, because we're trying to avoid grinding. I don't know if I talked about this, but I got rid of the hard-earned districts just because I want to have anti-grind. I don't want to have more grind. But yeah. So we're looking at a team. I was going to consider taking the Twilight Knight, but this one, I'm mousing over it because I know I'm explaining it. She has like minus accuracy while bleeding, so she's not going to work that well in the Warrens because the Butcher Pigs do like to bleed you, and I think might be one other thing. I can't remember. I know the traps bleed you, so if she steps on a trap, for instance, that kind of sucks. Yeah. So we're taking... We don't have like a dedicated healer. I don't consider the Occultist a dedicated healer, but he's here mostly to pull things and the potential weakening curse, I believe, and then also is heal as needed. The Alchemist is kind of our primary healer, but we also took the Vamp because she has a lot of self-healing and I wanted to play someone new. And then we're going to try the Ironclad with a Flamer setup, and I think right here... Okay, making sure my thing didn't freeze, because I'm watching it, you know, post-commentary. Sometimes my editing software freezes. So I'm just considering how many torches I want. I was deciding if I was going to snuff or not. And that was the other reason, too, like, just because of how I was feeling outside of the game. When the playthrough started crashing because of the mod, the Fallen Heroes mod, it just kind of threw me off kilter. So I struggled finishing the episode. Just to not be completely vague and mysterious, just to keep it brief, the reason I was distracted, I don't know what word to use, but the reason I wasn't like all here for the commentary the first time is because I had a minor COVID scare. I got tested and I came back negative, which is good, but you know, at the time it was just on my mind the entire time, so that's why I didn't really do anything last week. And so I was just making sure I was isolated and talking to people that I needed to talk to and making sure everything was just, you know, copacetic, and we're all good now. So, but yeah, it's a scary time, but we're here to be distracted from scary times. That's why you're watching this, so I'm not going to dwell on it. The background screen for this, almost a good team. I would just swap the Jester and the Houndmaster, and it's actually a solid team. Stupid Butcher Pigs. I kind of like the hook pig sitting there blocking. I think that's his like getting hit animation. While everyone else is... Actually, that's all like their... No, the Butcher Pig too, I think that's his get hit animation. Yeah, we wanted to try the Ironclad with the oil spill flamer setup, and it's okay. It's not as good as I was hoping for like a 2-turn setup. And there's a lot of people out there that correctly quote me when I did the tier list and stuff. I said that spending turns to set up is usually not good on your damage dealers, but I don't consider Ironclad really a damage dealer. And the only time it's really keen to set up is if you can get more turns than you're losing. So, for instance, the Leper, if he uses Revenge, he gets 35% damage boost. That's about a third. So he has to attack like 4 times to outweigh the negative there, I feel like. Unless you get a crit, you know. But it's hard to math out if the crit was because of your new bonus and stuff, but yeah. So we got pretty lucky in terms of the hallway battles, but also I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, we just, yeah. Like, we hit so many traps in this place. I swear to God, there's like a trap in each hallway for the first 3 or 4 hallways. There's no fights, or there are no fights, but there's just traps. And it's like, what the heck, dude? I like the Alchemist. I don't know if there's a different setup I want to use. I do like the Riposte, the wannabe Hound's Harry, and the heal setup, and like putrefying stuff. So there's the second one. Ironclad with like, no joke, 110% bleed resist. I'm sorry about the chair, like lean back for a second. It just went. So we scout this. I can't remember the next trap. Oh, the slug setup. I always forget the slugs are in the warrens, and I just hate the slugs to death. Like, they have solid resist, and they have just enough HP where you can't really... You can't one-tap them, unless you have a leper, maybe. Or, you know, leper equivalent. I got 11 hit points. No, level 0, right? I have 4 to 8 damage. I have, like, damage over time effects. So only a couple things can consistently just drop them. You know, in one hit, which is what you need to do. And, I just don't like fighting them. I always feel like they crit me a lot. I think they have mark synergy, and they always stick blades. So they can just rack up some damage pretty quickly, and you don't really expect it. At least I don't. That's such a cool looking pull animation, and for some reason we got the crit, but we did not get the pull, even though getting the crit gets you bonus pull chance. Ironclad with mediocre blade resist, so I was just checking. Got 2 resist, so that's pretty good. And I actually like the Born Leader thing on someone that has a Riposte, so it's like I can, you know, impromptu guard someone and then just hit the Riposte and then just spam self-heals. So I think Alchemist is pretty cool. I do want to play him more. And I do want to see his other skills, but I just think his current setup that I have on him is just workable. And I'm just trying to learn that as best I can. So Vamp, I had to learn how to play. Like, I read her stuff, but I still have to, you know, check it in combat to learn. I still forget that the third ability, I can't remember what it's called. I can't really read it right now, but I think it, you know, it's just really good, and I just don't use it. I just use like the first 2 a lot. I use the first one for stacking bleeds, and then I use the second one for self-heal, which, I mean, it got us through here, right? So we're sitting here, we're missing that. And I think because we missed, we don't summon the homunculus or whatever, which I was very sad about, because that thing would have been very helpful here. And that's just a fat cooldown to lose to random dodge like that. And then the oil sound, it's like, I think the oil sound is the same as the, no it's not. It's very similar to the Magikarp sound from episode 5 that we did. And it's just, not a sound I enjoy. Just it's getting launched. Getting these dodges though. No blights are sticking, which is pretty good so far. Trying to buff up these heals. Getting launched. That's right, I was talking about how they have mark synergy, and I'm sitting here marking myself. I forgot about that. I do like Vamp. Actually, I like a lot of the modded classes. It's just that starting them out at level 0 with no trinkets is kind of sketch in a lot of cases. So, usually, you know, when you start out the game, these characters right now, the modded classes, they're an investment. Since we just started out, we don't have a ton of money or resources. So we have to really pick and choose what we're doing. And usually, when I decide to start upgrading heroes and stuff... Oh yeah, that was a weird interaction there. Like, very delayed, but... Torch him. It reminded me of The Thing, you know, that 80s movie with not Russell Crowe, Kurt Russell, my god. Man, I love that movie. And I don't know if I ever talked about this, but I'm a huge fan of older scary movies, and the reason is not necessarily because I think the plots and stuff are better or that they're better written, but I think the special effects are what do it for me. I'm not a huge fan of modern, just gory slasher films. You know, I just don't like those too much. They don't appeal to me. Maybe I'm just being too highbrow about it, but when I think of scary movies, I want something really suspenseful. So, like, Silence of the Lambs is really suspenseful. And then, if I want something that's more just grotesque in how it does the scary bits. I think something like The Thing is really good just because the special effects. Like they didn't have the benefits of CGI to just slam in some. Oh, my phone's so loud right now. I'm getting text, I think. But it's, you know, they can just make a CGI monster and just put it wherever they want, and they have green screens and whatnot. And when you see something like The Thing, which I think is a John Carpenter movie, but the monster, I'm pretty sure they just had to make it. So it was just all like a physical entity of just whatever they could put together. I'm sure there's like some plastic and cloth and some kind of pseudo-looking flesh thing, and I thought it was really well done. So that's why I like those kinds of movies, just because the effects, I think, are kind of a lost art as we go into the future. So there's my boomer moment in terms of movies, but I'm a big cinephile, so there you go. I keep thinking back, it's like, yeah, I took a film studies class at community college, which is true, which was oh my goodness, that teacher, it was an online class, and that teacher just irritated me. This is like 6 years ago. But he made you buy the book he wrote. And I think it was like $100, or it might have been 200, something ridiculous, right? But to take his class and have the required reading materials, you had to buy his book that he wrote, and you barely ever used it. It was just a scheme to funnel cash to himself. And even though it was online, the lectures were from like 2004. They were just old MP4 videos that he had that went like 10 to 15 minutes. And he sat on some stool in front of what looked like just a drama play, like drama club type stage, right? Where it's just like a wood floor and a black backdrop, so you can just do improv and stuff. He just sat on a stool and he lectured. And sometimes there would just be pans to the crowd. Like there was a class there or something, which I don't know. I feel like the class was just superimposed or something. Like it was just spliced in with editing just to make it look like he was doing something. But yeah, that class was interesting. But there's a lot to learn in terms of at least American films. So there's things like the studio system and there's a very distinct split. So you can kind of notice it when you watch old movies and you watch new movies. Just how the production is, where like modern movies, they just do a lot of things on location if they have the budget. You know, some of the smaller studios, indie films and stuff like that, they don't have the bigger budgets to go do that, but they would, you know, film stuff on location. Then like the old movies, the old studio movies, like the black and white stuff that you've probably seen at some point, they did everything as kind of like a mass production deal. So they had their own teams doing sets, costumes, and music, and they just cycled the same actors. So you see a lot of the same actors in the same company movies. And I can't go turn this phone off. We're too far. I know no, I can't do this. Actually, I can't. Hold on. So I can actually mute my own Discord server for 1 hour. There we go. All right. So now I don't have to get all my own notifications to my phone. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So the benefit of this is they were able to push out movies very quickly, but they all had that cheesy, just kind of samey sounding soundtracks, and they built all the sets themselves, so they usually filmed a lot of it in the studio. That's why it's called like the studio system. That's how all the old things like Paramount Studios came to be, even though they don't really, they still use them, but they're not as, you know, like they do so much on location shooting now. But yeah, just interesting stuff. So if you ever need to fill some elective credits in your college work, definitely take a film studies class if you like movies. It's pretty fun. Even though the teacher sucked, content was okay, and it sticks with me. Oh yeah, these mods and these corpses and stuff are just weird. And this dog feels a little overtuned. It's got like what, 30 something hit points, 32 hit points on darkest difficulty, and it can heal. What is that? Zoink Scoob. I always like those memes that have the Scooby-Doo gang and stuff, and it's just something, you know, something sad happens. There's just something bad in the world, which that doesn't make me happy, you know, just something bad happening, but, you know, it's always Shaggy or something going, maybe humans were the real monsters, like, oh, perhaps, dude, perhaps. Is that too soapboxy? I don't think it is. I'm not trying to be soapboxy. Just trying to use memes. They relate to everything. That's how we get through stuff. Stabbing this dog with these resists. I'm liking some of the trinkets we got. We got some really cool high-level trinkets or like high-rarity trinkets pretty early, you know, which, understandably, we did some couple boss things or whatever, and I think we bought one. Oh yeah, just punch a dog for 23. I forgot about that. Ironclad hitting like it's literally the leper. Oh, the crystal shards. I swear to goodness, Vegas crashed just to tell me to buy Vegas 18 or whatever. Just trying to get me to update. It's just another chance to get an ad at me. Yeah, I forgot that you can get crystal shards from random just dogs and stuff. I think they unlocked when we did the farmstead. But, you know, I'll fight the thing from the stars to get crystal shards. It doesn't matter. I don't know how many crystal shards I'm going to farm in this playthrough. I might get a couple, but... Oh, that's right, and I was sitting here trying to think of how to finagle my items to save one food, but I just decided not to. On my Blood Moon playthrough that I do the class guides for, I've been on and off farming shards, and it is just such a pain. It's so grindy. Like, you know, the Endless Harvest is supposed to be a grind, and there are some grindy bits in Darkest Dungeon, but when you have like a completed file, and you're just doing it for content, just to have it all in like one place, it's so just mind-numbing. I'm not even gonna buy all the trinkets or the crystal trinkets for the base cast. I think not all of them are good. It's one of those things where it's like you should do it so you have an opinion, you know. Ironclad, just this ginormous thing. Probably sleeps in there. Probably stinks. I don't know. Probably gets hot. You know, she's got the flamer and stuff. She looks a little bit bigger. I don't know why I'm mousing over her either. I think I make a mistake in terms of my camp skill order, because I think I could have saved some stress and I just didn't. Like, I didn't plan out what skills I was using. That's something that's kind of bad that I do for as much Darkest Dungeon as I've played. You know, I'll know what camp skills I want to hit, but I never plan out the order. I rarely do. I only do it a couple times. Yeah, so we have some nighttime ambush preventer. We have the awkward 3 cost for the occultist one. I didn't notice that the occultist skin for Ancestor has the map. That's pretty cool. So he has like all of his little trinkets. I'm sure if he... Actually, no. Let's say, I don't think he has a melee trinket, but there are a lot of Ancestor trinkets out there if you don't know. So it's funny to see that he has them. He has like the... I know he uses the candle and the lantern. Like, he holds the candle, and I think he uses the lantern for one of his abilities. And then he has the... Oh, it's here! Okay. Yeah, and then he has the map, obviously, right there, but... Yeah, so this is the Fallen Heroes mod, and this is actually kind of gnarly. These things are a little bit tough, and I do like that you can see what their trinkets are by mousing over them. And I think they only get to use 4 skills. I didn't see any that use 5 that I can remember, but, you know, like, they get to go before me, just slamming these yops and stuff. I think their stats are... shuffle. Mouse over Hellion. Go back to Hellion. I need to see your speed. I'm just trying to inspect all this right now, but they go like a dodge spam comp. And, even though the... Arbalest... was that 3 speed? On Hellion? Yeah, they just happen to go before me. Is that 9 speed? I don't know. On Abomination? Yeah. I try and pull... Even though she has minus 20, it just doesn't stick. And I'm like, what is this? Is this Butcher Circus? I'm sitting here looking at 70% chance. Come on, game. I was getting some real Butcher Circus PTSD when I was playing this part. I'm sitting here thinking, do I open with the bleed cleave? And I think I do. You know, I could heal and try and keep people alive or get the riposte and stuff, but no one's attacking the Alchemist, so it's like, this is going to come back up, and it's actually the right decision to use this. I think I only hit a couple, though. Did I hit all 4? I might hit all 4. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to kill first, because they just have a lot of damage. There's no mark synergy, but between the dodges, just soaking away your turns and, you know, reducing your action economy effectiveness, and just the raw damage output of this team, especially with the double stun, which I don't even know if this mod's been updated, so Hellion has a limit on how much she can stun. It looks terrifying. Like, literally terrifying yop in my face. In real life. In my computer chair. In my room. It's wild. And we hit it. Yeah, we hit all 4. And we hit all the bleeds! Oh, it's so good. Getting bullied. These things are pretty tough. This almost felt like a boss battle. And it's kind of what I was looking for. Because I have so many helpful things in my mod list, you know, for like the classes and the benefits. Self-marking Arbalest feels bad, man. Setting yourself up because you have no friends. Oh, don't pull her again. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this felt like a boss battle. So like I have all these things that make my life easier, so I'm trying to have content that's difficult because I just don't want to have all these power-ups on my end and then just steamroll the base game, you know? But this was definitely one of the harder things that I've done so far. I think it's just because they had like the Antiquarian. If they didn't have the Antiquarian, it might have been a little easier. Do we heal here? I can't remember. I think it's heal, right? We don't oil. Just trying to keep myself alive because I don't want to hit a death door and then get all the penalties. Very cool move though. I like the ironclad kit. Who we biting? Took me a long time to realize that Vamp was just a Plague Doctor skin. I mean, it's obviously its own class, but the Plague Doctor's the base. So I could not remember that until I started seeing a couple of the moves. I went, oh, she's Plague Doctor. Even though it's very clear from how she's standing, you know, in these pictures. Third time's the charm. Got the crit this time. There's no Bola move back. This ain't Circus. Although I was trying to make sure, I was trying to hope that Helene didn't have breakthrough, but she ends up having breakthrough. Spoilers. Spoilers from the future shuffle. I guess this might be a good time to talk about Circus too. I don't know how many more Circus videos I'm going to do. The last stream I did just left this huge bad taste in my mouth. Just from both ends, because, you know, it feels good on the one hand that you have a chat room that kind of validates you in real time. Like, oh man, your RNG's so bad. It's like, thank you, it feels bad. I'm glad others see it too. But then some of the things that happen aren't even satisfying. So I had a few games where just, you know, RNG went really bad and I just lost, even though I should have been favored. And then I had one game distinctly that I remember where the opponent played well and they had a kill on, I think, turn 1. They had a kill set up on turn 1. So they had, is he a turn 1 or turn 2? But I had a character that was, you know, at death's door, and they had a bounty hunter. Bounty hunter was going immediately. And bounty hunter had Heartseeker instead of finish him, so I don't think he was capped on deathblow chance, but it was like a 5% chance. It's either a 5 or a 15, I can't remember. But he went for the finish him on my death's door character, and I got like the 5 or the 15% and resisted it, which, you know, that's very lucky on my end. And from that point on, I think it just blew him out of the game. And I felt so bad. I was like, that's so stupid, you know? Where I just hit one very lucky dice roll, and someone that should have just steamrolled me ended up just losing. And when you couple that with the other things I was going through, that heal's a good choice, because we didn't hit a death's door because of it. Yeah, just going through all of that, I just don't like Circus, man. So I think when, because I will play it again, but when I do make more videos, I might just try and do Mimi stuff, or just focus on like Grave Robber and stuff, because I think last time I think the point that went bad in the last stream was I was trying to like legitimately win. So I was trying to take some advice from chat. There's a couple people in there that I know are like Darkest One or in Darkest and stuff, so I was trying to take their advice, and there's this one person in particular I was trying to listen to, and it was also just to kind of see, because they've left me a lot of comments on my Circus videos trying to tell me how to play and stuff, so I'm like, okay, let's see if what you propose actually wins games. And we ended up losing more ranks in that stream. Like I was over halfway, I think, through Vet 1 when I started, and I ended like halfway into Vet 2, because I just went on a huge losing streak just trying to listen to what this person was saying, and I was just like, okay, I guess I can't listen to anyone on this kind of stuff. I don't know. But it's kind of sucks because on the one hand, you know, when I make content for it, I want to do well, not just for like my own ego, but I want to, because I have opinions about Circus, and I know people are going to try and just like rank shame me if, you know, if I try and state opinions they don't like. You know, it doesn't matter how good my opinions are, which I have had some good opinions. You know, I've thought of things, you know, ahead of time, and then I've seen people that talk about Darkest One, or they're in Darkest level and stuff like that, and then they do the things that I thought of. Not that I told them to do it, but like there are things that, there are conclusions that I made it to on my own, like independently, and I see them do it, and I go, okay, so my head's in the right space on a lot of, oh, this one, dude, and the bleed. Yeah, my head's in the right space, but we just don't have like the record to show for it, which makes me omega sad. You know, I remember having one comment, someone said that they can't play Circus, so they root for me to win. I'm like, oh, I just want to win for you people, I'm sorry. I can't put it together, I don't know. It's weird too, because I've been good at other games before, and I feel like my mentality is decent on Circus, but I just don't get the win-a-ronies. I do make mistakes, trust me. I know there's like one point in every game where I go, okay, I shouldn't have done that. But for every one time I see that, I see my opponent also misplay horribly, so I feel like it should be a wash, and it just ends up not being. There's my mini rant right there. Ooh, the 16 crit though. Oh, and here we go. So the Abomination bleeds out, and then just nothing happens. So I don't know if the game got confused because he was supposed to leave a corpse, or if him bleeding instead of just dying to a raw hit did something, but yeah, so we just kind of sit here and I go, okay, I'm going to close the game, and then I relaunch the game, and then it actually does it a second time. And so at that point, I just uninstall it, and I just play it again, and then that's how we get here. So once I uninstall it, I'm just in the hallway tile, and there's no fight. You know, I've taken all that damage, which kind of sucked. But the mission was over after that. And we do get a secret room, I forgot about that. So these trials and tribulations rewarded. So since we have something on each hallway tile, there's no chance for a hunger check, so we can just devour this food. And then we just have to hope the next fight isn't that difficult, but I think it ends up being, yep, bunch of supplicants. Wait, these supplicants or sycophants? I can't remember. Yeah, so what's happening? I think they get us with one curse, which makes me omega sad, but, you know, can't really be helped. Surprised we didn't get out here with more curses, so, you know, count your blessings. We do need to start getting some blood. And the Crimson Court pressure in this playthrough is really starting to mount, because after this mission, we hit high infestation. Got a couple stumbles, and I don't like that that the oil spill's a debuff that has to apply, which means it can be resisted, so it's not as good as I was hoping. But I guess it is fair. You know, you can't just buff yourself, because that'd be a little strong. And I think the stumbles that they get from the oil spill, I think it messes up a kill somewhere. I can't remember. Yeah, the Crimson Court enemies are starting to really mount a lot of pressure. And with how many extra characters and stuff we have, we can't really feasibly power up to Veteran very quickly to go kill them. You know, to go kill Baron and start doing that stuff, which usually when I do the Crimson Court enemies, I like to be like at the tip of the power level for that bracket. So when I go fight Baron, I want to be level 4 with like level 4 gear. When I go fight Viscount, I want to be, I think you can do it at 6, so I want to be level 6 with level 5 gear, obviously, and that's the same for Countess, but it's gonna be difficult because with the high infestation and the lack of blood that we have, and with how slow we're leveling every character now, because we have, you know, 50 characters, so we're leveling pretty slowly. This isn't like a regular playthrough where you have like 20 something, like 21 at this point, probably at the most, you know, that you're leveling up. Like, we should be tackling veteran missions right now in terms of the power curve, but we're just not there. And so because of that, we're really behind. when things like Crimson Court decide to show up. So we may have to take some suboptimal stuff into Baron, but we'll see what happens. I'm also afraid of the Fnatic. I've only fought the Fnatic a couple times, and I think for some reason people say Hag is a really easy boss, and I have some trouble with Hag, and then like Fnatic is super Hag, which I'm just not looking forward to dealing with. So we'll see what happens. I guess that's just the moniker. We'll see what happens, you know. Putrefy. Eat that corpse. Barf on corpse. It's the channel meme. I'm playing a lot of XCOM 2. That game is super fun. Although the rulers are complete BS. The way they handle like their action economy, how they get like the ruler reactions, which they just get to act on your turn, or like right after your turn, but it's not after your full turn. It's like you do something, you know, you could move. You could run from one cover to another cover and they get to do a turn. So you're just never really out of range against them and stuff, which is pretty obnoxious. And they're very powerful. And I also don't like how they show up, because for some reason, you know, they never lose, or they never fully keep the, or no, they always keep the damage you deal. So you just have to fight them like 3 times on average to kill them, which is pretty good. But then at the same time, you know, if you think about it in terms of logic, which we don't like to use logic in games, right? That's why we play games. But I forgot the trapezohedron thingies, they stack up, which is really nice because of that mod that we have. Yeah, so the ruler enemies, you know, they're just like super versions of regular enemies, and they can appear on any continent. You know, XCOM, you play it all over the world. They can just appear in Australia and then Eastern Europe at the same time, like one mission after another. And it's just weird. And they always show up at like the end of missions, so they're just there to be roadblocks, and like they feel so shoehorned, which is why I don't like them that much. But it's all right. We got people up to level 1, which is actually a big jump. We do like level 1s. We got about 3 minutes here, 2.5 minutes. So just looking at who else we can get. People have been asking if I'm gonna stream XCOM, and I'm not good at XCOM. You know, I'm just playing on the 2nd difficulty, which I think is normal, and even then I'm having some troubles, so I don't feel right streaming it. Oh yeah, some new characters. We got a Serpent, literal nightmare snake, which doesn't move in its little character panel, so I'm a little sad, but I think it's actually pretty funny. I forgot that we got this thing. I kind of want to try it. And that's a Houndmaster skin. There's just no Houndmaster for that one. That dog walks itself. Just checking out the quirks to see if I want them or not. Let me get this, the Bogatir, or whatever, however you say it. And I don't know what I was expecting with this class, but I just went, oh. It's just some giant dude. He reminds me of, man, what's that thing in Witcher 3? God. So I'm thinking of it in terms of Gwent decks, right? You have like the Scoia'tael, the Northern Realms, Nilfgaard, monsters, and it starts with an S. They're kind of like Vikings. I can't remember the name.
This one has become
whatever.
Useless.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of some from like that. I don't know. Or some from Dark Souls 2. I don't know why. It just gives me a Dark Souls 2 vibe. So we'll have to try him at some point, but alright. The other thing too, I was talking about getting rid of the spider mod, and it's mostly because it's starting to soak up missions. You know, the difficulty is one thing, and I know I talk about it sometimes, but it's like it's starting to soak up missions that I can't get rid of, their own little boss mission things, and I think I just might ditch it. Just because it's content I'm not enjoying right now. I kind of want to focus on the other stuff, but yeah, so we're looking at some other stuff in terms of missions. I don't know what we're doing next time. I can't remember what I decided on. So I just frantically wave the mouse back and forth. What are you thinking, Shuffle? What is it? Yeah. Anyway, I think we're done here. I see that I put a fade out to end the video, so thanks for watching. Next time, actual live commentary. So thank you for watching. I think I said it twice, and I will see you later.